Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're not new to this channel. So today's going to be quite a short one, but it's going to be full of lots of tips, tricks and hacks on how to attain a better work-life balance. So stay tuned and please watch till the end, because I've got an exciting announcement which I want to share with you. First and foremost, I'd like to thank each and every single one of you who watched my last vlog and gave me some really invaluable feedback, and of course subscribe to the channel, which is really helpful. It all means so much and it really motivates me to make even more videos and useful content that can help you guys navigate towards a more balanced lifestyle. But just before I delve into the video, there is something that's been weighing slightly heavy on my shoulders since my last upload, and that is the sheer number of people that have reached out to me with issues that they've been having in their workplace or in their business, and I've simply reached out for someone to talk to help them navigate through the difficult situation they're going through. So over the past week or so, I've been hearing real life accounts of people that have suffered from issues that they've been facing at work, which by the time they get home, they can't even shake off the feeling or forget about things they've been experiencing. And that's at the real basic level. But the sad thing is it actually gets worse. I've heard from people that have suffered from mental breakdowns, burnouts, and even people that have had a stroke due to pressures they faced at work. And a lot of it stems from not being able to cut off and separate their working life from their personal life. And that seems to have been an overwhelming statistic in how they got to that low point in their life. And I can't say I'm surprised. The reason I started this channel was because I knew it's a massive issue in today's fast-paced society that we live in. But by the same token, I was still quite taken back because I didn't expect it to be that huge of an issue as I initially anticipated. So the good news is you are in the right place if you are suffering the symptoms of work-life balance related issues. So the reason I started this channel was to help people that are struggling with finding that balance between their work life and their personal life. So I'm going to try my best to guide and help you where I can. So in the last vlog, we discussed boundaries that you can create with your work, but there were more so strategies that you would apply during work time. So today I want to look a bit deeper into what you could try once you leave work. So the first thing, and it's also something that we discussed in the last vlog, was to set clear boundaries between your work and personal life. Here's some tips for how you can actually do that. Something really simple: stop checking your emails. Once you get home, if you got work emails, text messages, anything like that to do with work, forget about it. By the same token, depending on the nature of your work, more so for business people or people that know by doing a certain small task once you've come away from work means it will make it a lot easier the next day, or maybe you won't have to put some input in over the weekend or something. So I would say this is kind of something that would be case study based and depends a lot on what you actually do. But for the most part, if that's something that's catching you out where you're constantly checking emails, messages from work, then that's something that you can try that will make a massive impact. So depending on where you're actually working, I know after COVID a lot of people are actually working from home. Just because you're working from home doesn't mean your whole home has to become your work office. So one technique you could use to separate your work and personal life is create a separate space. Now I know a laptop is made for exactly what it says. It's to be balanced on your lap. If you're doing it for social purposes or you're doing something leisurable, it's absolutely fine. Balance it on your lap all you like. However, when it comes to work, create a proper space, a formal space, a desk, a table, even a kitchen table that's different to your regular living space. And once you've done your work, you've completed your work, put your laptop away. Or if you've got a stationary computer, switch it off, don't go back to it again. Put all your stationery away. If your living space is a bit tight, then how about creating a bit of a space somewhere in your bedroom, so when you come back down from when you finish work, you can feel that sense of detachment. Another thing you could try is to unwind with a relaxing routine. So you could create some sort of a relaxing routine in the evening where you might have something like a family meal together. Engage in activities that help you unwind. It could be taking a hot bath, having a hot drink, reading, listening to music, even spending time in nature, or just preparing yourself a healthy, calming meal. So speaking of healthy meals, this is something that we are going to be looking into in a future vlog, but I just want to keep it quite brief in this vlog today. Part of trying to create that healthy way of unwinding, think about disconnecting from technology. Simple tasks like putting your phone on do not disturb mode, turning off your laptop. And if your job does involve using a lot of screens and you're maybe computer based, then try limiting your screen time before bed. So whether that's using your phone or an iPad, take a step back from that and maybe engage in other sort of activities like board games, puzzles, or even just spending time with loved ones. So now this tip is a really important one which a lot of people actually overlook, especially if you've got a really fast-paced life, and it's exercise. Exercise and physical activity is probably one of the most important things when it comes to creating a healthy mindset. Exercise and physical activity are actually massive stress relievers. So you could start off really simple, go for a walk around the block or in the local park after work, go for a run if you like cycling, or maybe you can try something different like skating or skateboarding. And we will look into even more hobbies that you can take up later on. A lot of people will hit the gym after work, and I hear from a lot of people that it's so laborious and they don't actually want to be there. So that's just something you have to think about. If it's really something that is putting you off, there's actually a potential that's increasing your cortisol levels when what you actually want to do is relax after work. So if you find it's become that stressful going to a gym, knock it on the head, think of something else. There's so many things that you could do, like swimming, dancing, team sports, skiing. There's literally so many more things that you could do to help you with physical activity rather than being stuck in a gym. But if you love the gym and it's working for you, then that's great. So another simple but really effective tip that I can give you is spend time with loved ones after work or on the weekends or whenever you've got time off, and perhaps think about engaging in social activities with them, going to the park together, doing some sort of social activities together, such as dinners, game nights, or even movie nights. Social interaction can really help you boost your mood and even provide you with that support that you need, especially if you're going through a difficult period. So by taking advantage of your support circle and people around you, what you're doing here is you're actually gearing yourself up towards preventative measures, and it can also provide you with emotional support that you may need, especially if you're going through a tough time at work. So I will always say in my videos that prevention is better than cure, and the analogy that I give is the analogy of a decaying tooth. So if you decide not to regularly brush your teeth or eat too much sugar, you will end up with a cavity in your tooth, which means you need a filling. Now, just because you've had a filling, that isn't actually the best sort of cure, because that filling will inevitably fall out at some point, and then you'll need another filling. And by the time you've done that, there's a high chance that you'll hit a nerve, which means you may need a root canal or the whole tooth removed altogether. Even if you're at the very early stages of stress developing in your work life, there's nothing worse than getting to a point which you struggle to come back from because you did nothing about it. So that brings me on to a couple of relaxation techniques that you can try at home. In fact, we'll do one of them together today. So the first one is a breathing technique which anyone can use. You don't have to be going through some form of deep depression or going through a full-blown burnout. Even if you're feeling slightly unsure about how to incorporate a better work-life balance, then this tip is for you. So I call this the 4-5-6 breathing technique. People have different names for it, but I call it the 4-5-6 technique. I find it's a lot easier to remember how the technique works if you remember 4, 5, and 6. So what do the numbers mean? 4, it's a 4-stage process. 5, each stage of the process lasts for 5 seconds. And the number 6 represents how many repetitions. So we're going to start off by breathing in, and we're going to take 5 seconds to breathe in. Then we're going to hold our breath, which is the second process. That's also going to be 5 seconds. Breathe out, which is the third process, and that's also for 5 seconds. And then we're going to hold our breath for another 5 seconds. So join me together on this, and let's see how you feel right at the end of this technique. First process, which is to breathe in. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold your breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hold your breath again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're going to try that process about 6 times. So breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, and that whole rep there will be done 6 times. And I can guarantee you 100% you'll feel so much better by the end of it. There's some long-term methods that we're going to work on, and there's some very short-term things that you can do on a regular daily basis, like checking in with yourself, breathing techniques, relaxation, meditation, all these sort of things. These are very simple techniques that you can take advantage of. So the next technique that's going to really help you bring down stress levels is actually meditation. Now, recently there was a scientific study done which was looking at how often humans should be meditating, and the optimal number was somewhere around 3 to 5 times a day. Now, I follow the Islamic faith, so Muslims pray 5 times a day anyway, which is the same as meditation. But regardless of whichever discourse you follow, meditation is going to make a huge difference in your life and bring stress levels right down. So a very basic meditation technique that you could try is just sit in a quiet place a few times a day and just check in with yourself. Ask yourself how you're feeling today. If you've gone through a really tough day, try to clear your mind of the negative thoughts. Check in with yourself regularly. The biggest religions in the world have for centuries implemented meditation. So that is something that we should really start thinking about. At the very, very basic primitive level, you could even try simple techniques like listening to relaxing music or listening to nature sounds. Another simple but really effective technique that you could use to curb stress is to engage in hobbies. Now, a lot of people, when you ask them what your hobby is and they're not really sure what their hobby is, you can find it within yourself. If you think of what you like growing up or what you enjoy now but you can't find time to do, these are your hobbies. When you get spare time, look into them, read about them, start to engage in material that's going to help you to develop those hobbies further. You really want to try to pursue hobbies that bring you happiness and joy. And if you're still unsure on what your hobbies are, try Googling it, check online what type of hobby might be suitable for you. There's a whole wealth of things that you could be doing, from gardening, painting, playing an instrument, or even cooking. Hobbies can really provide a healthy distraction from work. So really push yourself to get involved in some sort of hobby. So these are some of the techniques that you can use to keep work stress at work. The moment it starts to pour into your personal life, it would be paramount that you actually recognize that that's happening, because the impact of prolonged stress can have all sorts of implications. It's just so important to understand that chronic stress can have significant negative impacts on your physical and mental health. Just by listening to some of the people that I've been speaking to in the last week, it's sad to hear about real life case studies where prolonged stress led to things like high blood pressure, heart disease, a weakened immune system, and even unexplained digestive problems. And that's actually quite a common one. A lot of the times medical professionals will put that down to IBS, or they will never get to the bottom of what's causing your digestive problems. But if you yourself haven't even recognized that you're going through a stressful period, then even by a health professional telling you that stress might be causing the medical issues that you have, you simply won't register it because you won't even know that you're stressed. Prolonged stress can even increase the risk of anxiety and even insomnia. And if untreated for far too long, you can even end up having a burnout, which is something we're going to be discussing in much more depth in a future vlog. So if you're experiencing persistent stress due to your work pressure and you're finding that it's falling through to your personal life, it's crucial that you address it proactively and safeguard your overall well-being. And the techniques that we're discussing on this channel are things that you can start implementing in your life, even at the very early stages of stress. And if you feel these techniques are still not working for you and stress is significantly impacting your life, don't hesitate to seek professional advice from a therapist or counselor. Leaving work stress at work takes persistent practice and consistent effort. Just be patient with yourself and celebrate your success when it's going good. So that's almost the end of today's vlog, guys. But as I promised at the beginning of this video, I do have an exciting announcement to make. On the next vlog, I will be taking you on a pretty long road trip all the way to the Swiss Alps by road. So I'm really looking forward to sharing this trip with you. It's the first time I'm sharing my personal journeys with you. So as we progress through the couple of 1,000-mile round trip, we're going to have plenty of time to discuss lots of techniques that are really going to help you navigate towards a much healthier work-life balance. And if you have any good recommendations for places that I can stop en route, maybe a nice cafe or a major city en route, then please let me know in the comments, as I'd love to know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.